From the Councillor's Corner, and I find it such a privilege to be able to do these little videos, and I hope they are helpful to you. Let's just start with a Bible verse today out of Proverbs 4 verse 23. Keep your heart with vigilance, for from it flows the springs of life. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is the impact of social media, the impact of inappropriate content on social media, be it the YouTube videos, add-ons, the pop-ups, the games the children play, movies that are watched, and even adverts. So where does it all start? We know and understand that children are naturally curious. Now, have you seen some of the adverts on television these days? Have you sat down with your child and watched some of the cartoons they're watching? Have you sat and watched a movie with your child without having to fast forward or pause it? The horror movies are so real, they'll give me nightmares if I watch them. So let's be honest, there are very few movies we can watch these days where we feel comfortable watching with our children. When we look at social media, how easy it is to find, to search inappropriate content, such as sex or pornography. You know, I saw a young girl of about 9 years old, and she wanted to search about how mommy was breastfeeding her little brother, and that's how she really got hooked. Now remember, children also talk amongst themselves, and as we said, being naturally curious and not wanting to be left out, they might go and search the internet. Do you know the experts say that when someone engages with pornography, there is a 200% spike of dopamine to the reward center of the brain, a region called the nucleus accumbens, the same level of reward that you get from one morphine hit. I think that's so scary. So for children, when they get this dopamine hit to the brain, their frontal lobe, which is up here, isn't fully developed to be able to process it. That part of the brain is the forward-thinking part. In other words, it thinks about consequences, thinks about the future. It's not fully developed until early adulthood, which is around 24 years old. So when a 10-year-old or even a 15-year-old, for example, is exposed to porn and gets a dopamine hit to the reward center of the brain, they're not fully able to process it. Okay, the scary thing for me is that experts say it's not if your child sees porn, it's when. The average age, they say, is usually from 10 years old, but I've dealt with as young as 6 years after a sleepover at a friend's house. What a wake-up call this should be for us as parents. I think as parents we need to mourn the fact that your child will probably come across porn somewhere, be it at home, be it at a friend's house, but then we as parents need to get to work. I read that the internet is like a city, a foreign city, a city that you've never been to before. And in this big city are good places like museums and restaurants, coffee shops, churches that you can explore. But there are also parts of that city that are dangerous. The key when you're visiting a new city is to never go alone. And parents, that's what we have to teach our children, our young children and even our teenagers. The thing is that when children are exposed, it is a form of trauma, and if not dealt with, they keep going back, and these images become ingrained into their poor little minds, and because they have been traumatized, they don't really have a way of processing it. Now, something else I also wanted to mention briefly is talking to your children about sending semi-nude or even nude pictures of themselves. Please help them understand that these pictures stay there forever. Even if they delete them, especially on sites like Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, and all the others out there. Something I hear a lot is that information about sex and porn will destroy a child's innocence. Well, you know what, guess what? I don't really know, but what I do know is that knowledge about these things can destroy a child's innocence when it's presented in a shocking, negative, shameful way, like they would get on the internet or even talking to their peers. So parents, please talk to your children. It's never too late to start talking to your teenagers either. Talk to them about age-appropriate manner, things in an age-appropriate manner, because whether you like it or not, your child is going to hear about sex and porn. Rather let them hear about it from you, the parent, first, so that they have the facts and it doesn't become something to hide. They're more able to talk to you about it because you've opened that communication door. So some rules for yourself and your child, especially going into the Christmas holiday period. Where are they allowed to use their devices? Hopefully not at night in their rooms. For how long? What is your family plan for when they are exposed to porn? Not if, remember. Plan in advance how you're going to react. There's some lovely sites online that you can use, like Good Pictures, Bad Pictures, Defending Young Minds, and many more. And of course, your school counselors should be able to help you with that. Set checks on your child's devices. There again, your internet provider or your IT department should be able to help. And lastly, children should have at least 5 adults they can trust, they can go and speak to about anything. And parents, please be one of those 5 or 2 of those 5. You should be your child's first person that they go to, because they know you will listen to them and not take out the big stick. Have a lovely, blessed Christmas. Thank you so much. Bye.